So when my little boy was born, little Knox, he was born a perfectly reasonable and healthy weight. He was born 7 pounds, 7 ounces, and he was just this crazy mess. I know some of you had that like perfect looking child at birth. Knox kind of had a smushy face and the cone head and all that stuff. But man, you just hold him and you adore him and you just cherish this gift of the Lord. And as we were loving Knox over those first couple months of his life, we started noticing something like he wasn't gaining much weight. He wasn't growing kind of in a healthy way. And we're complete novices, Shell and I. This is our first baby, and we're not doctors. Shell's a physical therapist, so she had a little more edge on me. But we're sitting here going like, he doesn't seem to be gaining enough weight. And so we took him to the doctor, and the doctor said, you know what? He is not getting the nourishment he needs. Matter of fact, he went from being in the higher percentiles at birth, but now he's in the lower percentile. He's at the 4 percentile for a baby his age. So he had taken a huge dive in just kind of where the average would put him. And so, as a first-time parent, you're freaking out. You're like, what in the world? He was a perfectly healthy little dude. And now he's this scrawny little like bobblehead looking guy with these big bulgy eyes. We've got a picture of him over here. We can throw up. Thank you for laughing at my son. But no, he just had these big bulging eyes. And now if you know Knox today, he has these big beautiful eyes as he's kind of filled out and everything. But he had this giant head, which he still has, and this tiny, tiny, tiny body. And he really did look like this stick figure bobblehead, and he could barely hold up his head. And so when we took him to the doctor basically just said, hey, something has to change. Action has to be taken for this little one to get to health. And what I think is that just like my little boy and kind of the desperation that his parents had when they heard the doctor say, hey, things have to change. The way you were feeding him is not getting him enough nutrients. We have to take serious action. And I think sometimes as the Lord had kind of like it reminded me of that goofy picture of my son, there's plenty of them. It reminded me of my own tendency to live off of my past victories. Those past moments where God had done something really beautiful or really substantial or really powerful in my life for me or through me into the life of someone else. And how I have the tendency, I think many have the tendency to kind of live off those past victories. You see, it would have made no sense for me to go to the doctor when he says, hey, your baby's in the 4th percentile. He really, it's not danger zone yet, but we got to get more in him. We've got to get more food in this precious little baby so he can start growing in a healthy fashion. It would have been absolutely ridiculous for me to say, oh, doctor, at birth, he was totally healthy. At birth, he was 7'7", which is an absolutely kind of middle ground. It's perfectly healthy. So you don't need to worry about where he is now because at birth, man, he was great. And I find that is what a lot of us do in our relationship with the Lord. The Lord is calling us to grow, and we take satisfaction in past victories.